Welcome back to Grassroots Footy, of course, brought to us by West End. Time to have a look at Division 1, Division 2. Henley in third spot, Broadies in fifth. It's at Henley. Let's have a look at their last three games, Macca. Henley lost and then they've had two wins. Broadview with a win, then two losses. Henley had a 5-point win over Salisbury North. Broadies went down by 66 points. Henley are winning but not playing well. Can they continue to get away with it this weekend?
Look, I think Henley will win, but they have been a little bit up and down. They need to keep maintaining some winning form to get to the top three position. And that's going to be very important in the grand scheme of things. Filippo, who's second on the leading goal kicker at the moment with 38, kicked 5 again last week, and he's become one of their main go-to players. And Dart and Pedersen were very good players for Henley. Broadview, Mitchell keeps kicking their goals, kicked 3 again. Matai, Williams with their other best players. Broadview, a win can see them with a chance to make the 5. So there's a fair bit of hanger on it for them, but I think Henley will get over them.
Might edge past. All right, Tea Tree Gully, they're in 10th spot. Eastern Park are in 9th spot. It's at Petteringa Oval. Eastern Park have been the big improvers since the break, Macca. They hadn't won a game up until the break. Now they've won 2 of 3. Tea Tree Gully, they've had 3 losses in a row, so it's hard to go past Eastern Park.
Well, Eastern have got as good a form. Only Gazer are the only team that's got better form than 3-zip. But the Parkers are starting to move along, and the drum beater, he's been going off out there, the drum beater. But Ricky O'Loughlin kicked 6 again. He's become a real prime mover out there for them. Tea Tree Gully, the Pit, he's the leading goal kicker in the comp. Kicked 40 this year, and that's a good effort from a player in the bottom team. Virtudace, Pike and Wicks they've been their mainstays this year. But I think Eastern Park might sneak another little win here, and I don't know where the drum beater travels, but he definitely will be going off if he gets down there.
All right, Shock, they're in 4th spot, and they come up against Jeps Croft. They're in 8th spot. Sacred Heart Senior School, this one. 2 losses for the Shock boys, followed by a win. Jeps Croft, they've had a loss, a win, and then a loss. It was a big win over the weekend for Shock. So Jeps, they've showed some good signs, but this one, it's hard to go past Shock, isn't it?
Very hard to go past Shockers. 14 goal winners last week. Look, it's a big game for the Shocks because they're still trying to push into the top 3, and that'll be their main motivation to make sure they keep winning for it. But we forget Jeps Cross, they are still an outside chance to get to the 5, so it puts a fair bit more on the game. The Juniper and Angle and Horan kicked 3. Jackie Horan kicked 3 from last week, the coach, so he obviously went up forward. And for Jeps Cross, Rawlings, Hudson, Firavani and Aloka were in their best players. Look, I think Shock will just have too many guns for them, and Gypsies will be lamenting.
All right, this is the match of the round, maybe the match of the season. Goody Saints, they sit in 2nd spot. Gazer in 1st spot. They play at Goody Oval. Of course, Gazer undefeated this year. Goody Saints have won 3 in a row since the break. Can Goody Saints bring it to a halt?
Well, this becomes the big test for the Saints to see if they can beat the glamour side, I reckon the Gazer boys are. Look, there was a bloke, he might play this week, Paul Merritt. He's been injured, but the other week they reckon he ran out into the ground and looked like he had a skin-coloured swimming cap on, but it was just his shaved head. And Paul Merritt's a very good player for Gazer, and they'll be hoping that he comes back. Rusty Haythorpe kicked 4 for Gazer. Kerr, who's the big ruckman, who's a terrific player, and Bennett Copping was their best players. Goody Saints, Scarra, Burton and Giles and Illman, your man Illman, he was in their best again. Goody Saints, this is going to see where they're at. Whether they're going to make a good challenge. They're starting to find a real bit of form, and I think there might be a little bit of an upset in the wind. I've been tipping it for weeks, and I can't see Gazer going through the year unbeaten, and I must be starting to worry Nathan Granger a little bit about carrying that tag.
You'd like to get a loss just to get it out of the way if you've got to have one. Don't want it to be in the grand final, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Foss Camden sit in 6th spot. Salisbury North are in 7th. It's at Camden Oval. Foss, last 3 games, they've had a loss, a win and a loss. Salisbury have had a win followed by 2 losses. So both teams come into this one on the back of losses, Mac.
Yeah, look, the loss last week to Eastern Park hurt Foss because they were still a silly chance of making the finals. So that was a bit of a backward step for them. Colpit, who's actually the 3rd on the goal kicking list with 37, kicked 4, and Toddy Blacksell and Wallant were their best players. Salisbury North, winners again. Travelling not too bad. Losers last week, Salisbury North. Evans was the best, kick 2, and Hay and Stones were their best players. Salisbury North, win will put them in the hunt.
All right, time to have a look at that magnificent prize you can win from Complete Home Transformations. There's 2 $5,000 outdoor kitchens to be won. So simply jump on the website and have a look, or go and see the staff out at Complete Home Transformations. Plenty to offer out there. 500 words or less why your club should win a $5,000 outdoor barbecue. 50 words or less why you should win an outdoor barbecue. Macca, now we've talked about your club, the Burners. They're starting to fade out there. Have you put some pen to paper and a little bit of poetry on why Payneham Norwood Union should get the $5,000 outdoor kitchen from Complete Home Transformations?
Well, I don't know whether we can put a 500 word between the whole lot of us out there, but we might have someone that can put 50 words together out there to get it. And we're down to 1.5 burners, one on high, one on low, but we're trying to work on it to get them up and going again.
All right, and of course the third one, $5,000 outdoor kitchen, goes to the best player in the amateur footy, be it Divi 1 right through to Divi 7. So terrific prize there from Complete Home Transformations. Time to have a look at Division 2. Rostrevor sit in first spot. They're up against Walkerville in third spot. It's at Camden Oval. Rostrevor had a good win over the Old IGAs, while Walkerville had a 20-point win over Adelaide Uni. Rostrevor, they've only dropped one game this season. So, you know, Drew Lister, my mate Drew, likes to prepare Friday night with his 3 pots and a pizza. He booted 4 last week, so maybe they can slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, look, Lister got 4, put him on 59 for the year, the leading goalkeeper in the Divi 2. Look, Rostrevor on automatic at the moment. Timmy Hart's got them travelling nicely. Walkerville, though, are the form side of the competition. They've taken all before them over the last few weeks. Rawlins, From and Madden have been very good players for them. Walkerville are top 3 position beckoning when 5 weeks ago they were looking at fighting for the relegation zone. They've really turned their season around. But I'll tip Rostrevor. I think they'll keep soldiering on. All
right, we've put this one down, Macca, as the match of the round. Payneham Norwood Union sitting in 9th spot. Athelstan in 10th. It's at your home ground. Difficult one for you though, Macca. Athelstan have got their heads up. They had a good win over St Peter's last week. Your boys just down on confidence. Can you turn it around?
We played pretty well for 3 quarters last week. Our first 20 minutes of the first quarter, they kicked 5 to none, and from then on I think we had 19 scoring shots to 14. So we played some pretty good footy after quarter time, but we've got to get out of the blocks. Get out of the blocks, boys. Ty Watkins was very good for us last week, our best player. Kicked 3, very fit, runs everywhere, and whoever picks him up's going to have a very torrid day. Athelstan, Thomas kicks 3, and Fitzpatrick kicked 3. Walden and Brad Pearce, who I think Brad Pearce come down from up Kersbrook way, who's a very good player, and I think if we can shut him down and not let him get much of the footy, I think we might be able to sneak home.
So you're going for Payneham in this one, are you?
I am just.
All right, Adelaide Uni, they sit in 6th spot. Modbury are in 8th. It's at Uni Oval. Adelaide Uni coming off a loss. Modbury got your team last week, Macca, so you've got a real insight on how their form is at the moment. So they're playing some pretty good footy. Can Uni upset them?
Look, I think Modbury, now that they've got a little bit of a sniff that they can make the finals, they're going to be a tough opposition now. Hoffmeyer, very good player. Stanton and Davey were in their best. Adelaide Uni, they've been a bit up and down, but eventually Trimmers will get them firing, and they could be a very dangerous side. Alessi and Thompson and Matty Allen, who's been a terrific player for them at centre half back. But I think Modbury might sneak another win. I don't like to say it because we're trying to chase him in the relegation zone.
All right, they looked good last week against you.
Yeah, very good. Very run hard very early in the game and caught us off guard a little bit. But once we played a little bit more accountable footy, I think we got a little bit more control.
All right, I reckon this one will be interesting. Port District sit in 5th spot. The Old IGAs are in 4th. It's at large reserve. Both teams 6 wins, 6 losses. Port District, since the break, have started to look really good. Old IGAs going into the break were looking like they'd gained some momentum, and that's almost stopped them. So have Districts got a little bit better form right now than IGAs?
Districts have got the form at the moment. Old IGAs only kicked 2 goals last week, so that would have been a bit disappointing, and their best player was none other than Willoughby. He's a terrific player. Janetsky and Frinsdorf, again, were not too bad of players for them. Port District, since Smitheram, the coach, has been pulled on the boots, they've taken it up a gear, and the last week Smith kicked 5. Sampson was a real good player for him. Look, I think the Districts might be able to get over the line down there. It's going to be a tough gig for IGAs. But the Port District's ground's not too bad. Pretty sandy soil down that way, and not like the gluggy crap up this end.
All right, so you think it could go? Could it be a draw, Mac? You normally like to tip and draw.
No, this is not the draw game. I think the Districts are going to get over the line.
Districts are comfortable with that. Okay, Spock sit in second spot. They're up against PAC in seventh spot. It's at Caterer Oval. Both teams lost last weekend. PAC, they've got a multiple injury problems. I think they were down 23 players, according to the coach. They went down by 32 points. They're struggling with that. St Peters, they hit a rough patch themselves, ran into Athelstan, who are in 10th spot, that beat them. So I know it's not the big game. The big game's at 10:15, Mac, at the over 35s for this one, but let's focus on this one first.
You want to focus on that one first, right?
Yep.
I think Spock will beat Prince Alfred. Hardy kicked 3 again last week. He's got 47 for the year, so he's been the mainstay for them up forward. Brad Thomas, his old man, I think looks like he's looking for the job down the port. So Brad, who's a very good player, he's got a terrific work ethic, and he's a good in and under player. He's going to be one that they're going to have to watch. Thomas kicked 4 last week, and Byrne kicked 3 for Prince Alfred. Watson and Lees was in their best players. Spock need to bounce back after their loss, and Prince Alfred have got a low percentage, but they're equal on wins with a lot of teams, and that percentage might hurt them down the track. But I'm going for Spock. But the game earlier on...
The 10-15 one.
The 10-15 game. Now, this is where the draw could happen, because I don't think any of these blokes will get out of their Mercedes or their BMWs to actually go and play at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Those heated car seats, mate, don't want to get out of those.
They'll call it a draw and say, let's go in and have a couple.
All right, stay with us. It's time to go to a break. Of course, the Grassroots Footy brought to us by West End. Coming out of the break, we'll get Footy Chicks Footy Trip down to the Kenilworth Footy Club.